Hey, welcome back to Black Press. Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe.
Now let's get to it.
Hey, what's up? It's your girl Trish and
your boy Mr. Define.
and we are Black Press. All right, so we're gonna jump into some topics.
We are, but first, if this is your first time, thanks for coming. To hit the subscribe button, hit the bell notifications for future videos. Hit the like button if you like what we're saying. If you don't like it, share it and talk about it with somebody else.
Yeah, and comments. Let us know how you feeling.
Yes, sir. We got a lot of stuff on the docket today.
Yeah. All right, so first up, we have Spice. She is a dancehall artist who is currently in a Dire Straits life event. So she went to, allegedly, she went to Dominican Republic to have a surgery. So we want to send out prayers and well wishes. But while we have that, we want to...
Wait. So you going to talk about exactly what's going on? Like, who is this Spice? And
she's a dental artist. Everybody knows Spice.
Artist. What do you mean, dental artist?
Dance hall artist.
Dance hall artist. Oh, yeah. She got that BBL. I know who you're talking about now. I thought you said she was a dental artist.
No, she's a dance hall artist.
She's a dance hall artist, but she's also a dance hall artist that is like on the back end of success.
No,
what I understand.
Spice is she's been had a name.
Yeah.
But she's in the forefront now because she was held back by her management. She had like a real bad record deal, and it was preventing her from putting out music. So now that she's able to put out music, people want to change themselves up, but I just wish she would just like stayed to herself. Just because
you can't get no success staying to yourself, though.
Well, that's true. It is true.
You can be the best dance hall artist you want to in your living room. If don't nobody see it, it don't matter.
No, I'm talking about like changing yourself, like altering, altering your physical.
Stay to herself.
Yeah,
like staying.
Altering your physical appearance.
Yeah,
because it's so.
So yeah, definitely that was BBL.
Not necessarily
change.
Not necessarily. It could be, but we don't know.
So she went to where?
Dominican Republic.
She went to the DR. Shout out to everybody in the DR. My boy Cam, you know who you are. But what else do you go to the DR for?
There's other stuff.
Vacation.
So she was trying to get the surgery. She was trying to get the surgery with her main doctor, but
which surgery?
A separate surgery. Maybe a surgery too. Maybe she was trying to correct something.
Maybe she was trying to get some actual dental work.
We're not gonna put it
dental work.
Wait, no.
I thought she was dental. No, it's dance hall, but it might have been dental.
No, because possibly she could have been doing it to fix something that she went and got corrected. So we never know.
She's trying to fix the BBL.
So even if she was trying to fix it, it's still.
In the DR. Oh, did you hear about that one girl that had to try to get the BBL and she ended up losing a kidney?
Oh yeah, I saw that.
I
saw that.
See,
you have to be real careful when it's not for everybody. Better. Yeah, that's
if it's cheap, it's for a reason. You get what you pay for.
Yeah. That reverts back to that brand name cereal. Get what you pay for.
No.
There you go. Eat your words.
No, you did not get what you pay for when it comes to cereal. Because cereal is made by the same people. Look, all of Walmart brand cereal is made by Sara Lee. Look it up. It's a fact. Sara Lee is a name brand. But when Walmart is willing to pay a low price for more, supply and demand. If I'm gonna buy more, then I get a cheaper price. Therefore, I can sell it for a cheaper price.
Maybe.
But we're not gonna go into economics. But,
yeah, because we're gonna wrap it back to Spice. We do offer our prayers, and we hope that she gets better and she gets back on the scene because
that booty right?
It does not mean she probably wants to go get some corrected.
No, she got that BBL, so when she dirty wine, it'll
she know about dirty
push
wine.
out there like that. You gotta when you can't just dirty wine and she got this BBL thing is getting ridiculous though.
It is.
Like some of these videos I'm seeing, I'm like, yo, if your whole body look like what's her name?
Like an ant.
Or Popeye's girlfriend. Do you remember Popeye's girlfriend?
What's
olive oil.
Olive oil.
Yo, when your whole upper body look like olive oil, and your lower body look like the Popeye's the what's that? Brutus. Your lower body look like Brutus, and your upper body look like olive oil. That's not. We all know. We know that's not natural. That's like, you know what it's like. It's like where all the memes where you see the dude that went to the gym and his whole upper body is swole, but he don't do leg day. Like he skip leg day every day. Yeah. It's like, wait a minute. So you telling me that you do leg day every day and don't do nothing on the upper body? Come on, bro. We can tell. And then is that here's my question. Mm-hmm. So the BBL thing or body improvements.
Yeah.
Does it actually? For one, what's the purpose?
And for some people, it's to make them feel better about themselves. It's not always to please somebody else. Mm-hmm. You want to feel good about how you look. Sometimes you put on certain clothes and it's baggy or there's too much space in it, and that's the actual size that you're supposed to wear. Mm-hmm. So you go in that store and it don't fit or feel right. So you want to get something to fill it out and make sure that it's secure. Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, that's why.
What you want to do?
What's that?
You want to get your bank right, so you can go and get tailor-made dress for everything you have.
Well, that's for people that got money.
You got to get your bank
right. If you don't have money, you're buying according to the American standards. Yeah. So if you go in and your size, say, you go in and your size like 16, mm-hmm. and you try that 16 on, and it doesn't fit right, of course, it's going to make you feel a certain type of way. So you're going to be hard on yourself, and you'll be like, okay, I have to do some changes. Mm-hmm. You do the diet, you go to the gym, you start working out, and still it doesn't.
They're all doing that.
And still it doesn't look right.
Okay, but for justification for BBL, are they doing all of that before they get to BBL? So, I answer that. Are they doing? Do you think that they're doing for like okay? So for BBLs, mm-hmm. Brazilian butt lift, you're doing it's to get your butt. A lot of times I know they take the fat mm-hmm. from the midsection and they take it and they push it into the butt, the hip, and all that. So are they doing the work to do it to get that, and it's not working, or are they just like, all right, I got this couple grand, and I don't feel like putting in that work, so I'm just gonna get them. I'm gonna pay them to just take it from here and put it down here.
Some people are like that, mm-hmm. but there's some people that actually try and they don't gain weight, or they have this body dysmorphia where they feel like they look a certain type of way, but they really don't. So it's all in the person.
And I think that, well, genetically, they're not being true.
No, because genetically, you can have a flat butt. And like you can be as exercise. Exercise will not give you a butt.
There's a couple things at all that like genetically is true. You eat a lot of cornbread,
That doesn't work.
You eat a lot of
That does
cornbread.
not work.
If you eat a lot of cornbread and you do a lot of squats, your butt gonna get bigger.
That doesn't work.
And then
I eat cornbread.
It's all as that throwback.
I eat cornbread and I squat. Do I have a butt? Maybe.
I'm not telling them.
That is to be.
Look. But you eat a lot of cornbread and do a lot of squats.
Cornbread, cabbage, and rice.
That bump don't hump. But I think it really digs into a conversation that we really need to have in our community, and that is self-worth.
Yeah.
Self-appearance, and what I really think we need to talk about is what's the terminology? Let me think about it. Okay. The rise of women, I'm telling you, when you're on the other side of this camera, every word you want to think of, but not, I don't want to say woman empowerment, because that happened in the 60s, 70s, but
looks like you're coming out to something. What is this?
Huh?
It looks like you're coming out to something. I can hear it. Okay.
Woman love and self-love. Self-love and loving yourself for who you are.
Yeah.
There's an issue with it, because if we're on the rise of self-love, love yourself for who you are, why are we also on the rise of BBL?
Okay, so there is a certain population of people that want to go and get BBLs. Not everybody's doing it. It's mostly people that follow after like hip hop and things of that nature. You don't see a regular person that's like a doctor or just like a regular general person that's like, oh, I think I need a BBL. But in reverting back to what you were saying, it's important to self-love and love yourself. It's important to accept your own standards and look in that mirror and know that what's staring back at you is you.
Yeah.
So if you looking at that mirror and you're not liking what you see, or if you feel like you can, it's a certain way you can do it better, it's up to you to make that change. And that's via if you want to do surgery and you have the necessary means and finances to do so, go ahead and do it. There's people that are born with like certain abnormalities and they want to fix that.
Yeah. I want to put a point in that because I'm going to come back to that too.
Okay. But it's up to you to change.
Yeah. So, doing the change. Woo, that's so much to unpack. But okay, with self-love and making that change, we so much want to say it's self-love, but I'm not gonna say we. I'm gonna say on this side of the table. On this side of the table, we over here, my other half, and I'm gonna say black women, is all about. There's a big issue, and we need to point this out. There's a big issue with self-love of black women, also on the rise of BBLs. I don't believe there can be both. I don't believe there can be both.
You know what? I don't want a BBL. I'm fine with like God bless me both.
And I don't believe there can be both, and it to be self-love of both. So if a woman that has self-love would not think that she needs a BBL. A woman that has self-love does not think that she needs a BBL.
And I don't think the two correlate to each other.
Right.
Because,
and that's my point. My point is like, if you love yourself for who you are, then you would not feel like you need a BBL.
It's called an enhancement. So you're basically enhancing yourself. You're already You're already beautiful by your own standards. What you feel like you live up to. You just want to enhance it.
I don't believe that.
So if it's something that you want to make better, hey, get a little.
No, I think that's too big of an enhancement. I think that's too big of an enhancement.
And it depends on the size. You're thinking of BBL like these big onion booties.
No,
that's not what everybody's going for. Some people are flat like a board and they just want a little curve. So when they put a dress on, they feel good.
Are they flat like a board on the back and on the front?
Some people have.
Because if they flat like a board on the front and the back, then okay, I get it. But if you got fat on the front and you try to move it to the back, that's you not putting in work.
Well, it goes. It's a merry-go-round because there's so many different shapes. There's not one shape that's the same. It's so many different. People could have athletic build. People could have like a straight, slim build. People could have like a big, husky build. Everybody has different shapes, so you can't group.
I'll go back to the same trend. I have never seen a fat skeleton.
There's no such thing.
Because there is no such thing as big boned.
I'm not saying I never said big boned.
There's not.
I never said
you did not say that, but there's no such thing as big boned. Bones are like you can have genetics of your bones being able to grow taller than some, but there ain't no big boned skeleton.
That's genetic predisposition.
So you have genetic buildup, but then so the same way that a man can build up in areas and slim down in areas,
it's not the same for women.
Why not?
Because we're built differently.
So you're saying
men can build muscle faster.
But are you saying we can build muscle faster because we have testosterone, but we can get. I don't have an argument for that.
Yeah.
Ding
ding. Ding ding. Next.
But I do have I can say that the idea of doing the surgery and getting fit or exercising the areas that you want to improve are both different ways that are from mindset. And I say that because this part goes for all of our community and all of America.
Yeah.
We value you put what you put into what you value. So America and our black community puts in the work for the money. And we say, I can use the money to get the body to pay for the surgery for the body that I want. But that body that you pay for does not translate into good health. So we put the effort into the money, not into the health, and then we still die early.
You want me to argue that one too? Because it's a definite argument on that. Because not everybody is working to pay for a surgery. There's people that are.
You're right.
There's people of our community, our culture, that is growing gardens and feeding off of the fruits from their labor, like literally. There's people that are black farmers. They have livestock and they're eating and
they
getting money from their livestock. Right, that too, yes.
Black farmers are getting cheated out of a lot.
Yeah, there's different things. Not everybody's waiting for a surgery, and it's different type of enhancement surgeries. It could be BBLs just at the top because that's what's in front of the window. There's still people want to do like get their nose straightened and fixed. Some people are, especially of our ethnicity, have like wider nose and they want to slim it down because they're not comfortable. They're not comfortable with how it looks.
That's Michael Jackson. That's self love. Yeah.
They have that. You have people that do like breast surgeries to even out their breasts. It's just so many different things. So it's not. It doesn't all tie into. Well, I'm gonna work hard so I can get this surgery to make myself look better.
And I didn't mean it that way. I meant it to push away from to push the conversation away from BBLs and body sculpting or
to health and wellness.
I wanted to push it away towards we put effort and time into what we value, and what we value is money instead of health.
And you know why? Because people don't know what healthy is. What is healthy? What does it look like? What does it sound like?
I think healthy has a look.
Healthy does not have a look. You know why? You can look like you're super healthy, but be sick with something eating away at you inside.
But that's not.
And that's for mental as well. That's for mental as well as physical.
But I'm talking about physical. I'm talking about physically healthy. Looks different than physically unhealthy. Unless there's something, unless you have some type of disease, you have cancer or something like that. That's a different circumstance. But I'm talking about looking healthy and feeling healthy is different. Like if you feel healthy, most of the time you're gonna look healthy. If your heart is racing when you take 10 steps, or if you have to run after a piece of, like, say you check your mail and the wind blowing and you gotta go chase after it because you just lost a piece of mail.
It's no. Something like a weed. I ain't chasing it.
But
especially
if you have to chase that and you're out of wind, you're not healthy. There's a look and there's a feel, and a lot of times I still want to hit on what we value is money. As an entire nation, we value money over health. And that's the reason why we're working so hard and we have more degrees than a compass. And we don't have, we're working for that money, but our health, like our weight is going up like the compass. Yeah. By the way, compass, obviously 360 degrees. I know some people say thermometer, I'm a military navigation type of person. Got more degrees than the compass. But we have to, that's a big issue that we didn't talk about. And I think the BBL's issue is the same, or has a big similarity to it, where we are focusing on what we want to look like instead of focusing on how we want to feel.
Yeah.
Oh.
No, I'm not agreeing to that.
You're not agreeing to that?
I'm just saying.
No, I'm saying it hit in my head that we're focusing on what we want to look like. That's the difference between a BBL and a gym body. A gym body is how you feel, especially those endorphins that hit when you're in the gym and how you come after the gym, versus the BBL body. That's all about what you see and what you perceive your body look like in a mirror, and then it mentally gives you something. But your body gives you those endorphins and at a higher level during and after the gym.
But you know why? It's because just like I said, we don't know what healthy is. There's people that go to the gym and work out, but they haven't had like a health checkup in forever. So they're working and building all this muscle, and then next thing you know, they dropped down because their heart gave out on them.
Yeah, but I feel like you're saying that for the sake of the argument and not for the sake of so who's doing that?
There's a lot of people that's doing that. How many people? There's people are self-doctoring themselves.
Okay, but
they're acting like they're the doctor.
What would you say is the majority? Is the majority of the people that are in the gym and still unhealthy, or is the majority of the people that are unhealthy and not going to the gym?
It's just too many different avenues for that to just specify for one.
So they can't. There's no understanding that there's okay. What about a probability? Is there a probability that one could be more healthy than the other? Is there a probability that the person not going to the gym is more healthy than a person that's going to the gym?
It is.
Yeah. That's my point. My point. The probability is the one that has the higher percentage. So what I'm saying is there's a higher percentage of those that are not going to the gym and that are not healthy than there are of those that are going to the gym. And when I say going to the gym, I don't mean you have to go you should go and get you a membership at whatever insert gym, because they ain't paying me, so I'm not inserting nobody's name. But I got a home gym. Or walking. I mean, you follow me on Instagram, that's defined by the results on Instagram. I'm just saying. But I am at least 2 to 3 times a month now on my bike, because I don't run anymore because I was in the military and then my injuries won't let me run. So I'm putting miles on my bike. If you're not putting in the effort, you're more likely to not have the physical health. But we put forth the effort at work. We're putting forth the effort for financial benefit and living shorter lives. When in actuality, we're not living shorter lives, because modern medicine is like evening out the balance, and we're actually living longer. But you're living out a longer life because you're on medicine, but you're not healthier at the same time.
That I agree with most of what you say, but that medicine part, no. There's holistic ways that you can.
Yes, but what I'm saying is humans are living longer now than they did before because of modern medicine.
Yes, that I agree. But actually, like taking like a pill, I think that's detrimental to your health because there's so many. But I agree. I agree.
The pills are helping us live longer. That's what's overtaxing Social Security too.
Making longer and sicker.
Yeah. But I just really wish we could get more towards loving ourselves versus loving the surgery that makes us look like what we want to be.
Yeah.
And this is the thing that I was noticing the other day. And let me know if I'm over talking, because y'all know if you've been watching the videos, I would talk forever. But I was analyzing what it is to love yourself. Right? And what you love is what you give to. Right? And if you really love yourself, you would want to give yourself the healthiest life. So when you find that really self-love in yourself, and you say, I love myself perfect or imperfect, I love myself big or small, fat or little. If I love myself, I want to give myself the best that I can give myself. So what I want to do for myself, because I love me, is I want to give myself a healthy life. I want to give myself a healthy life. So what do you do for somebody you love? You make sacrifices.
Yeah.
When you really love yourself, that's why the first step into getting and being healthy is to love yourself. And to getting and being successful is to love yourself. because you love yourself enough to sacrifice the time, effort, and sweat that you would put in the gym or in walking in order to make sure that you are truly happy. That's why, and a lot of people are so right. You're so right when you say you got to love yourself first. That is completely true.
Absolutely.
You have to love yourself first. But if you really love yourself, the same way I can say, if you love me, what you do for me. You know, if you ain't doing nothing to help me live life better, you don't love me. If you're not doing anything to help yourself live life better, you don't love yourself, which means you need to go back into introspective to find out why you don't love yourself. And then you have to fix what it is that you don't love. And it's not, you can't fix the weight first. You can't fix your teeth first. Whatever it is, you can't fix your hairline first. You have to fix what's going on inside of you. So that's the real thing about self-love.
Yeah.
Self-love is loving yourself for who you are. And then once you've loved yourself for who you are, you love yourself enough to put forth the effort to make yourself the best you that you can be. You have to love yourself first, yes.
Yeah.
But you have to love yourself enough to tell yourself the truth. If you don't tell me the truth, you don't love me. If I say, babe, how my hairline look? And I'm gonna slant it sideways, babe, you shouldn't go out the house for the rest of the week. Because that joint look jacked up. If I come out the bathroom and you don't tell me I got tissue hanging from the bottom of my shoe.
Ooh. So what if
I had the white place?
So what if I be like, so if I come out and dress, babe, how does dress look on me?
I'm gonna say it looks great.
What if it
if it don't look good on you, I'm gonna say it looks great.
What if it look crazy?
I'm like, no, that don't look right. But
you gonna tell me?
I'll tell you the truth. I'll tell you the truth. Am I lying? If I tell you, you might need to do some more squats before you put that dress back on. But am I lying? Do I not tell you the truth?
I would hope so.
You would hope so, but you don't know. So, yeah. Then you gotta go into white lies. But that's the other issue. Now you're digging into something totally different.
Yeah.
Because we're telling ourselves white lies in order to continue on the path that we are. But here's the thing, though. Only you can tell yourself a lie that only you would believe.
But your conscience will eat at you.
That's not a conscience. That's you.
No, but if you tell yourself something and that's opposite of the truth, your conscience will eat at you.
And that is what causes self-hate. Your conscience is a self-hate because you're trying to tell yourself, I'm great just the way I am. But your conscience is like, no, you're not. You know you're lying. You're just too lazy to go to the gym. Or you're just too lazy to, you're just too caught up in, and I just finished a 1 month diet because I didn't like the way my stomach was looking because I just retired from the military and I'm not running and I didn't like the way my stomach was looking and it was pissing me off, so I had to get back. And you told me to get on the diet.
See, I'm honest.
You told me. You told me I have to change my eating habits, and I was like, nah, I just work out some more.
Yeah.
But I had to realize that I had to work out. I had to continue to work out and work out more and change my diet. But we're not honest with ourselves. So when we're not honest with ourselves, our conscience eats at us because our conscience is really going to tell us the truth. And then we feel depressed because we don't feel depressed because we don't look the way we want to look. We're feeling depressed because we know we can do more and we're choosing not to. And then we're beating ourselves up. We're choosing not to.
You know what people should do? Just look in the mirror and be like, do better. Just tell yourself.
Talking to the man in the mirror.
Like, do better. That should be everybody's
so
conscience.
Funny. Did I tell you about that? I think I told you about that. I must have told you about that.
What's that?
So, military.
Uh-huh.
I had a soldier. Mm-hmm. And he was bad at physical exercise. His moon was a mess. Everything was just jacked up. Mm-hmm. I literally came into his room at 5:45 in the morning, checking on him before physical training. Mm-hmm. And I said, "This is a mess." And I brought him to the mirror. And I stood side by side with him. He was one of those. I stood side by side with him. And I said, "I want you to look at the mirror. And I want you to tell yourself, do better." And he said, "Do better." I was like, no. You gotta really mean it. You gotta tell yourself and actually believe you're telling yourself, do better. He said, do better. And he started. Mm-hmm. I left. I changed duty stations. Mm-hmm. Everybody in my office was telling me I'm being too hard. Mm-hmm. I left and had to pass him over to another sergeant at the time. And when I checked back in with what was going on over there at the past unit,
he was doing phenomenal.
He got chaptered.
Oh gosh, sure.
He got chaptered for being.
That's not how I thought it was gonna go.
No, he got chaptered for not meeting height and weight because when I left, the people that took over that was saying that I was being too hard on them, were relaxed. Some people need that continual push until they are able to build up that own work ethic.
You got to be able to self-check yourself. You can't always rely on somebody else because that's where you're going to find your failure.
All right. Make sure you remember that for the rest of this episode.
I do. Self-check.
When I be talking about how we need to do better in the community, you be like, but this and this and that. Self-check is what I'm doing on the path for where I'm trying to go.
Yeah.
Self-check.
All right, so let's dive into some other topics.
Before we dive into the other topics, go ahead and hit that like button because we've been talking some real gems.
Yeah.
So hit the like button.
And subscribe
for the future gems because we got some knowledge that's gonna be dropped. Mm-hmm. Share it so somebody else can hear it. So they can hear what's going on because I'm gonna drop some real knowledge on this next segment. And then talk about it. Talk about it in the comments. Let's get to talking. And I know you check, but I'm always checking. I want to talk to somebody. Because if you think I'm wrong, let me tell you why I'm
Please tell him. And if y'all agree with me,
I'm right.
Please.
I'm going to tell you why I'm right here. Yeah. So, what's the next segment?
Okay. All right, so we have, so we want to talk about couples. So one couple that I like to talk about is, I
totally forgot.
They don't have a label. They don't have a label on it, so I don't know if it's like a couple, but they look really cute together. Young Miami and Diddy. They look really
Why cute. Why they look cute together?
Because they're in a relationship where they set their own boundaries and they're open and honest with each other. See, a lot of people, they aren't open and honest in their intentions and what they want. So when you get in a relationship, you're dating this mystery person and you don't really know like what their intentions are.
So Young Miami and Diddy, they look cute together.
They're upfront with what they want.
How old is she?
She almost 30.
Is she?
Mm-hmm. She's not. So she's not young. Well, she's young, but she's not young-minded.
60, almost at least.
Asian number. You know the song.
Yeah. See, okay. One thing I'm gonna say about that before we get deeper into it is, most of the time, if it ain't somebody that's financially successful, it's like, why she with somebody so old?
You know why? Because she has faced a lot of adversities in her life. So it's forced her in a position where she's a lot older than her age group. So her mom went to prison for some time, and she was basically raising her younger sibling. Mm-hmm. So
that
that makes you grow up. So you're not so even though they see you at this age, your mind is a lot more advanced. So you can see her and be like, "Oh, she's young."
Have you heard her show? Have you watched Lucretia, Please?
I have.
Do you want to retract that statement?
No, because it doesn't matter.
Have you heard her talk?
It does matter. I've heard her talk, but just because she's not educated to a certain level doesn't mean that her brain isn't far out.
Like Big Daddy always said, you go to school all your life.
Mm-hmm.
If you ain't got common sense.
Yeah.
Don't do your big deal.
Mm-hmm.
What? Sidebar question.
Mm-hmm.
Did you think she would have her show if she wasn't dating Diddy?
Yeah. Because a lot of people like her. She's very well liked.
Put that in the comments. You think Lucretia Please would have a show if she wasn't dating Diddy? Right there. Right there. It's on that side.
Yes, she would have it
right there.
Women can be.
I know what women can be, but I wanted to say,
they can do things themselves.
I'm not talking about women. I'm talking about Lucretia. Would Lucretia have her show?
Her name.
That's what she said on the show, Lucretia Please.
Lucretia.
So have you watched the show?
I have.
And you would know what Lucretia Please?
It's not. I don't think her name is Lucretia.
What's the name of the show?
It's Carisha.
Oh. Is it?
Yeah.
Lucretia,
yes.
Carisha. I had it right. It was in the general ballpark.
But like in talking about like females and
close.
Yeah, it's close.
Thank you.
But yeah, like talking about females and them doing their own thing.
Lucretia.
It's Carisha. Carisha. Lucretia sounds so
hood.
Lucretia.
Look, stop naming.
So if you Lucretia and you watching this, no offense. But
look.
Hey.
I'm gonna talk about the name thing for a second. Just a little sidebar.
Mm-hmm.
In the world that we live in.
Yep.
And in this atmosphere that we live in, you should definitely know that the name that you give your child will have to be put on all of their resumes and all of the job applications. So if you believe that this world and this country is particularly unracist, unbiased, then definitely put whatever name your child whatever you want. But if you, and this is another accountability thing. This has to be an accountability thing. If you, in your mind, believe that the world, the community, this country, the job system is racist or has racial bias, you need to understand and don't tell yourself, I'm going to always say this. This is going to be one of my things. Don't tell yourself the lie that you want to hear. Tell yourself the truth. When you write your child's name down on their birth certificate, if you know that the people that look at their name on a resume is going to automatically know that they're black, and you know that this job industry is racially biased, you're automatically putting your child 1 point back unless they're using affirmative action. And right now in the Supreme Court, they're trying to do away with affirmative action. So guess what? You need to actually know what you're doing. What people are doing is they're being selfish. You're putting what you want to name your child over your child's success. And stop pretending like it's something different. It's not anything different. It's not anything different. It's not anything different. You're saying, I want my child to be named this. And I don't care what kind of issues they go with on their resume, on their application, on their college application. I don't care. Even right now, as I'm telling you that the Supreme Court is about to throw out affirmative action. You are listening to this and you're still saying, I'm going to name my child what I want to name them, and I don't care if somebody knows that they're black. Guess what? They're black, and I don't care. Guess what? You just threw your child back to the back of the... Not... Hopefully, you didn't just throw your child to the back of the application.
I'm going to interject. You know why? Because it's not just black people that are naming their kids outrageous names. There are other people of different races.
I'm talking to everybody that's listening.
Yeah, because I've heard of a child named Apple. Blanket. There's other.
Okay, Michael Jackson can name his child Blanket when he's going to inherit millions and billions of dollars. Michael Jackson can name his child whatever he wants to if he's going to inherit millions of dollars.
I guarantee there's a child out there named Apple.
I just know this girl named Applehead, but I don't think that was her real name.
I'll tell you. Apple, sun, different.
Exactly. And if you when you write the name on that birth certificate, don't think about how much you're looking at the child and, oh, she looks like an apple. Look at that birth certificate and say, how does this look on a college application?
I think people that really care about their children, they're more so invested in their future and what their outcome of life will be. So you're not going to name your child something that's detrimental.
And I'm moving like this because I want to ask you the next question. Is a person that names their child Lucretia, are they actually caring about their child?
They're uneducated.
Yo, they gonna hate you for that.
They're uneducated and they have to do a self-check, because if you name your child Lucretia, it sounds very off. It's not appealing, and it might sound good to you, but you tell somebody else that, and they're gonna laugh in your face, because you name your child something that makes sense. So if you will name your child Apple, Sun, Blue, Orange, Purple, make sure it's something that you can stand for, they can stand for, and that you can defend. Because you're going to have to go up to that school a lot, because Apple is getting picked on. So you just have to make sure that you're ready to
I had to laugh an extra time because I was thinking about Apple getting picked on from the tree.
Oh gosh.
Picking apple.
See, that's me.
Apple getting picked on. What you mean? She in the orchard?
That's mean. Poor Apple.
Poor Apple getting picked on.
Apple is a cute name.
She wasn't even ripe yet.
Apple is a cute name though. It's just not.
It's cute.
Maybe for like a pet.
Or a nickname.
Yeah, a nickname. Yeah, give them nicknames.
Give them the nicknames.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. If you want your child to have a unique name, make that name their nickname. Because we are still not in a community and a society that is completely unbiased.
Yeah. You know, they should follow the Caribbeans. You know what we do?
What?
You can have a whole name on your birth certificate and you go by something else.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
Yeah, but what do you write down on the college application?
Of course you write
That's my point though, still. It's still the same thing.
Just have them go by a different name. You wanna let them be Lucretia.
So they write a whole good name.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought you meant like you have a whole nother name, like you have I was gonna go straight Spanish. Hector Luis Manuel.
No.
It's like you got 10 names? You got 10 names before you get to your last name?
But Asian people do that too. They
like put the last name. They put the first name ahead of the last name.
Mm-hmm. It depends, but a lot of them have long names.
I messed that up. I said you put the first name ahead of the last name. Obviously, the first name is ahead, but last name first. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Maybe what you want, just make sure you're ready to defend it. Bottom line.
No, do not wait. Do not wait till you're ready to defend. Don't wait till you're ready to defend your child's name, because when you're gone, your child will still have that name. Make your child's name the name that they can defend without you even having to be there, or that they can survive on, they can flourish with.
But they gonna. So when you name your child something, you as soon as you name them, you're gonna have to defend it because somebody's gonna come out their mouth and say, "Why did you name them that?"
But after you argue that name down for however many decades, eventually they're still by themselves.
But you know, they can change their name when they get older.
So naming that name. Yeah, but do you really want to name your child something that they're gonna change when they get older? No, you want to name them something that they want to keep and hold on to forever. Because that's my mama gave me that name, and she named that name. She gave me that name because she knew it was gonna be successful.
You I always change it.
She named me King.
So, speaking about parents, Summer Walker.
I love that segue.
Don't laugh. So speaking about parents, like Summer Walker, so she just recently broke up with her second child's father. Her baby's unborn, but second child's father, and she's okay with it. She's gonna be a single mom. She understands.
Well, she's already.
She understands what that comes with, and her and the child's father are on good terms. So it's not like they had like a bad split. Yeah. It just didn't work out, and you should be able to separate amicably.
Yeah.
So.
Well, it's good that they were able to separate amicably. But she's on the second child. Yeah. With the second baby father.
And that happens because you can be a widow. You can be a widow and have.
It happens a lot more often these days too.
Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't say it happens a lot more because they're. Well, no, I don't want to. So yes, there were dads back in the day that had whole families that the first family didn't know about, but I think. And I just put myself into this conversation. I still think that was not as often as we in the world and we that try to justify things make it seem. So I just want to say that as a sidebar. But we can't keep thinking this is the norm. I mean, this is not it. Don't. We have to understand that this is the norm, but we can't keep believing that this should be the norm.
I don't think so, because if you're in a relationship with someone and you have a child with them and it doesn't work out, are you forced to stay in that relationship just for the sake of the child?
No, you're not forced to stay in a relationship for the sake of the child.
Yeah.
But you know, I'll be calculating stuff in my head, right?
Go ahead.
I'll be thinking of conversations before they even happen. Like, I didn't even know we was going to talk about this tonight, but I've already thought about this conversation in my head. So Summer Walker is on her second baby father.
Yes.
And that relationship is over before the baby's even born. Here's my issue. Women are awesome. Got four sisters. No brothers. I've been studying women pretty much since the time I was born. If you count my mama, that's 5. And I got 3 close female cousins and my aunt. That makes, 9? Women are awesome, and women are capable of amazing things. The only thing women are not practicing in their capability. See how I switched that in my head?
Mm-hmm.
They're not practicing in their capability is the ability to hold out of fully going into a partnership
mm-hmm.
with someone that's not worthy of their partnership. Mm-hmm. Or worthy of being a partner. Here's the way I think of it, right? You know how awesome women are? Because they're capable of doing things in the business world mm-hmm. that are, for their lack of equality, mm-hmm. amazing for them to accomplish. Mm-hmm. But I want to put this in the mindset of a full-on business, right? Because your life as a man or woman is 100% a business, because you build up as you go, and then you reach a point where you want to retire, and you have to have built up enough to maintain that lifestyle mm-hmm. before you die, and hopefully be able to have a business lifestyle, financial capabilities that you can pass on to another generation, right? Mm-hmm. All of that requires you to plan like you would a business. So in the life that you lead, you should have a business plan or mm-hmm. a plan for your life.
And you don't think females have that?
No.
That's inaccurate.
I don't think they have a business plan that they actually commit to.
It's because men falter. So mm-mm. Yes, because you can be in a relationship.
This conversation's gonna get real long, but let's go.
It's sure you can be in a relationship. Mm-hmm. You can be all you can be in a relationship, but if it comes to a certain point where you two are unyoked, mm-hmm. should that continue? No, because it's more detrimental to you. Right. And it's more detrimental to that person. Right. So y'all breaking apart. Is some people come in your life for a season and a reason. Mm-hmm.
Okay, and what I want to do is I want to give you your opportunity to talk about things, mm-hmm. and then I want to still focus it on the business side, because women can do great things in business, mm-hmm. but they don't apply the same things to life, and mm-hmm. that's what I'm saying. So, okay. You pick somebody, right? Mm-hmm. And what happens is they get to the point where you have to separate because mm-hmm. that person wasn't what you thought they were going to be, mm-hmm. right? One thing that happens too often is you pick that person, and in the job that you go into, right? Mm-hmm. Any job you go into, you have that 90-day probation period mm-hmm. before they start giving you benefits. Mm-hmm. You don't get no health care. You don't get no days off. Yeah. You don't get none of that. You don't get no PTO. Mm-hmm. You don't get that stuff until you at least make that 90-day probation period, right? Mm-hmm. We understand that in the business side. Yeah. But there are women and men, so mm-hmm. everything that I say can go both ways. Can correlate. But what I'm saying is the woman is the one that is ending up with the debt of a business or the debt of a life that they have to go continue with. And I don't want to say that a child is a debt, but it is something that a child is is an actual life form that you have to hold on and maintain and take care of. And it's not for 7 years until it falls off your credit report.
But you putting that on females. It's not
I'm
just
not putting it on females.
Okay.
What I'm saying is I want females mm-hmm. to use the same abilities that they have mm-hmm. to be awesome in business and use that format mm-hmm. in life and in partner selection. Yeah. And in not just partner selection, but in partner and development and mm-hmm. lifestyle and the home set selection and progression. Here's the next thing. Mm-hmm. If you look at those successful mm-hmm. those successful families
Mm-hmm.
What do? They don't have a child at the beginning,
mm-hmm.
right? And then you get those that, okay, you pass the 90-day probationary period, right?
Mm-hmm.
Switch it back to work.
Mm-hmm.
Pass the 90-day probationary period, right? Now you're getting the time is starting to accrue for
mm-hmm.
days off, and you're starting to get your benefits, your insurance, and everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're getting that, but there's still, if you're a lawyer or a different type of company,
mm-hmm.
there's still a long way to go.
Yeah.
Before you make partner.
Mm-hmm.
It's partner. When I say partner, I'm referring to a parent and a parent.
Mm-hmm.
There's still a long way to go before I'm going to make you a co-parent. See what I'm saying? I'm not going to make you a partner in the co-parenting idea of us having to be both dependent, not independent, but dependent on the success of our bloodline, which is which would be a business in the corporate sense.
Mm-hmm.
So you're not allowing enough time to see who that person is, how they interact, how they create contracts, how they bring in additional customers, what kind of income they bring in, and all of that stuff. So some points where you have that, where you've passed that 90-day probationary period, you could say that might be a point. I'm not gonna say that because I don't believe it. But some in the world, a lot of times where they start to live together, right?
Mm-hmm.
But they're starting to live together. It's like you get benefits, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I wake up and I'm gonna make you an extra cup of coffee. I'm gonna cook whatever, whoop whoop. But then you go from now you get benefits to now you make partner in 1 month. How do you make? You don't make partner in 1 month, right? So you get to that. Okay, finally you get married, right? Now you got an executive office, but you still ain't making partner. You go from working, you go to you getting benefits. You pass the probationary period. You got an office. You got a cubicle, and then you get to executive office, but you still ain't partner. That's we married. Now, all right, I've decided you are work, and both times, in either way, the woman can be the person that's coming in as an employee, and the man can be coming in as an employee. But both of those both of them are working up to the point of a partnership. So it's too often that we're being partners in 18-year and lifetime businesses or lineages or successes before we even been past the 90-day probationary period. And I'm not talking about Steve Harvey, like, okay, yeah, it would be great if you could make it 90 days without having sex. But I'm talking about we're having actual babies before a 90-day probationary period, and you don't even know if that person gonna show up to work every day. But here's the thing. Women are capable of being so successful. You're capable of doing anything that a man can do, except maybe bench press a whole lot of weight, unless you actually work up to it. And if you say she can do that, then guess what? Physically, everything that we talked about before, she can do when it comes to physical exercise. So we're not giving on both sides. We're not putting in the effort. But what the whole party is, the biggest issue is if the man doesn't make partner, or if you give the man the partner deal, he leaves the company or the household or the relationship, you're still ending up with all of the debt because you never went into a actual LLP. There's no LLP contract. Obviously, you both, business, LLP, limited liability partnership, LLC, limited liability corporation.
I mean, it makes sense and it sounds good, but in life, that's not how it always goes.
And it's
like
not
people present themselves in a certain manner, and then they end up being somebody different. You can play the fiddle for a good while. Of course, you're gonna see some quirks, and you can see it over time. Of course, you're gonna see some quirks and stuff that doesn't add up, and it's up to you to make that self check and be like, "Hey, I need to maybe step back a little bit," or this isn't going to work.
You don't have to do that though. You don't have to do that. Mm-hmm. You can say this is an issue. I see it. I think this is something that might hinder our relationship.
And then you talk about it. It's all about communication and being open and honest. Mm-hmm. So if you see something within someone, you bring it to their attention so that it can be addressed. If they change it, then they change it for the better. If they don't, then it's up to you to accept that or start walking.
A big part is nobody wants to take ownership of the full relationship.
Mm-hmm. So the full relationship isn't on just one person.
No,
it's on two. So when you're talking about building a company and building a family, it's not just that one person that's building that family.
You have to remember what I said.
What's that?
Both people are acting as if they're trying to vet that other person for partnership. Mm-hmm. So both of you are the manager. Mm-hmm. Both of you are that CEO. So both of you should be saying, "All right, hey, I noticed you came in a little bit late to work today. Is everything okay?" Mm-hmm. Oh, well, this and this. So you're having that conversation, and oh, okay. Well, I just need you to understand that at this company, the way we're running here, we can't allow that to be consistent, or it will hurt the production of this company. Mm-hmm. If both people are saying that, both people are just as much responsible for the full effect of your relationship. We're saying, no, I don't have control over what he does. You don't, but you do have control of how you react to it. So if you bring a problem to the forefront where you both meet, in the same way, look, I've been at companies where I was late, and they be like, "Hey, what's going on? Mm-hmm. You late? I seen you been late. You clocked in 2 minutes late for twice this week. What's going on? It's not acceptable." Mm-hmm. And then it's like, okay, you're right. I had this issue. I left too late. Won't happen again. Boom. Mm-hmm. It's too often that we're trying to say it's her fault. I can't control how she do things. It ain't my fault if I had to leave. Did you talk to her about it? Have you addressed the issue and tried to come to a full understanding in order to let her understand how you wanted to work? How does your company work? Mm-hmm. This is how the company works. I'm not comfortable with it because what you're doing is, like I said, you have to have a partnership. This is how this company works. If you want to be a partner with this company, this is how we need to operate. I don't think we need to operate that way. You have to understand this is this. And then,
but you know what? So if you're saying, okay, the company has to operate at this, we have to meet certain standards and metrics, that's up to you to vet that person for how you want it.
That's not
so it's not up to you to be like, okay, whose standard is it? When you're in a relationship or a partnership, you have to have most likely like a common mind. You have to be on the same page. Sometimes the other person is a little bit more ahead, and that's why that company is fully functional, because they know the way the ship is supposed to go. And that other person that's coming in, they have brand new ideas that can better the company and take them from where they are to where they need to be. So it's not always about having a person come in and vet them for things that they cannot measure up to at that point in time. And it's not about potential, because they already have it in them, but they have to meet the standard within themselves before they're able to meet your standard.
Yeah, but the other part is not just telling the standard. Mm-hmm. You can tell the standard, but then you have to communicate expectations.
Mm-hmm. And it's okay to have expectations, but if your expectations isn't lining up with their expectations, there has to be a communication into some type of compromise. And if the compromise doesn't work, then okay, we have to scratch this and work on something else.
But then I bring it back to the business sense. I'm gonna bring it back to the business sense, right? Mm-hmm. What do we have? And I have quarterly reviews.
And you know why?
Quarterly,
because in a business sense, if you keep bringing it back to business, some businesses fail. Mm-hmm. And they fail because the thing that they have in mind doesn't work out.
Yeah, so does company. So does relationships. But the issue is relationships are failing after they've already made a partnership. That's my entire point. Mm-hmm. My entire point is you've already awarded them a partnership in your life, mm-hmm. that you will end up with the debt. Mm-hmm. That brings it full circle. Mm-hmm. That brings it full circle because you just said it. Things fail. No business is going to always work. Mm-hmm. Startup businesses fail within 5 years.
Yeah.
So it's not the expectation is not for every relationship to work. You might need to have a relationship with multiple people that don't make it past a 90-day period. You might see what I'm saying. So what is your 90-day period? So is your 90-day period?
In your 90-day period, you're vetting multiple potentials.
I didn't say that.
Yeah, you just said that.
No. I didn't mean it like that. Okay. I meant multiple people within your lifetime.
We're not living. So
I'm not saying
in a sense. Yes, I understand what you're saying, but you are basically wasting your time in having one potential 90 days, one potential.
Yes.
Sometimes you might have to have it potential, and then okay,
so you're saying that we should have multiple
that was not working. So in some senses,
so you should have multiple multiple relationships that are just in the 90-day probationary period.
Starting off, you might have to.
Well, you're trying to make it seem like I was wrong, but when you thought I was saying that,
because I had it. Because I had to check.
It's different. It's different if you say it's different if you say we can have 5 different employees that are not all on the 90-day.
Because I was trying to make it make sense. Because that's what businesses do. They have multiple employees on that 90-day probation.
That's cool too.
It doesn't always work out.
You can have people that you're just filling each way out, and that's if you're smart and secure and you have self-discipline within yourself, it's possible.
Yeah,
you can have multiple relationships or multiple probationary periods with multiple potential partners that you're not giving any benefits to, whatever you believe those benefits are.
That's accurate.
You can go on 5 different dates with 5 different guys and only have the expectation to have communication with them.
Exactly.
And guess what? That's a big problem too. Like we think we overlook communication for attraction.
Yeah, because just
like,
because
okay,
just because
this,
yeah,
but
just
they don't
because
mean
you're
this. But nah, bro, you want the best potential partner that you can have.
So that's the talking stage. You can talk to people. But when you can talk, it's talking, dating, potential.
Yeah, the talking is like you
Talking is like, hey, yeah, we go chop it up and it's not a dinner date.
Yeah.
It's like breakfast, brunch, or lunch.
Those are all the monster. What is it, job monster or whatever? I don't even know what. How do people apply for jobs these days? Yeah,
applications.
So you got
that's interviews.
You got interviews. You got callbacks. You got phone interviews. Then you got face-to-face interviews. Then you got we considering you. We want to come you for another interview. All of that is like still the same. And excuse me, water. And then you still say, okay, well, how much time do I have on my? How many spaces do I have for employees? Or how many places do I have for a potential partner? If I don't have time, then you start adding in time. How much time? How much can we allocate? That's like paying how much if you come bring in employees, how much can we allocate to pay these people to do the jobs until find somebody
what you pay is your time.
Exactly, you're paying your time. So how much time can you allocate? All of that, like that's the thing. We make it seem like it's like, oh, it has to be connections. I'm looking for this. Yeah, you can look for all of that, and you can still do it without giving a partnership and creating a whole 18-year program that you have to have in debt just to maintain that one partnership that you shouldn't have hired. You shouldn't have hired that person past the first interview. You shouldn't have hired that person past the resume. That's the big part. We can't get past it.
I think people just get bored, and
that's true.
The person that they're you just get bored, and then the person they spark your interest, and then it's like, oh wow, and then you start spending more and more time with them, and then it's just like, okay, and then next thing you know,
then you start to overlook the things that you saw in the application.
The next thing you know, feelings come in, and then it's just like, oh.
Right.
So you gotta know when that cut it
because
out.
We're looking at things not in a. This is a lifelong thing.
Because it never starts like that.
Your 1 month of loneliness does not mean your entire life is gonna be lonely.
That's true.
We have this thing where the next person I date has to be the person I stay with.
See, I never had that mindset. Ever.
I've had that mindset before.
You have? I never had that mindset.
It was after the dating multiple stuff.
Oh, you did? With me, I was just like, whatever God tells me.
I'm trying to
aim. I tell you, there's some real cuckoos out there. So
I'm gonna take a real quick break. We'll be right back.
Yes.
Like the channel, subscribe, like the show, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell, and share, comment, subscribe. We'll be right back. What's going on, everybody? I'm your boy, Mr. Define.
And it's your girl, Trish.
And we are
Black Press.
So, we're going to get into this segment because it's been going around so much.
Before you do that, remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe.
Like right here, comment over there, share somewhere up here,
and meet us here.
Up here. Hit the bell for new song. New content. New content. All right. So we are going to talk a little bit more about Kanye West.
It should really be pronounced Ye, since he said like the Yeezys.
Speaking of Ye, like, that jump pissed me off So I watched Meet the Press with Chuck Todd. His name just popped up in my head. I can't believe I remember his name. But he pissed me off. He said he was talking about this. This was on his little list of things to talk about, and he literally said, "The rapper Ye, da 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 da," and I was like, "Really, bro? Really? Ain't nobody in your studio tell you was saying his name wrong?" And then he said Ye again, and I was like, "Bruh, I will reach through this phone."
You really love Kanye, don't you?
No, it was the fact. No, that part. It wasn't about loving Kanye. It was the College Dropout. College Dropout, best album ever. But no, it was just the fact that, like, how you gonna be a reporter and a white one and get a black man's name wrong?
It happens.
Nah, man. Intentionally, yes, it happens. It happens intentionally.
It's like when you don't do your research.
That's like Donald Trump saying, how did he say, Kamala. Every time he intentionally messed up Kamala Harris' name. Like, you don't know her name? Really? Yeah. Really? Anyway. Man, and got me off on a tangent about how these folks be disrespecting. Anyway. But, yeah, back on topic. Obviously, Jay has lost all his contracts, all his brand deals with Reebok. I didn't even know Reebok was the actual brand that was selling Ye Yeezys.
Reebok?
I really didn't know. I don't buy that stuff. I've adopted, like, I really fully bought into the whole don't let people know you got money. So I got me off Amazon.
Ain't nothing wrong with Amazon.
I'm just saying, like, it don't matter. Like, as long as my feet ain't, never mind. Anyway, that's a whole new subject too. Anyway, let me get back into. Okay, so he got canceled, and now Kyrie Irving, as y'all have already known, has jumped on the. Nah, he ain't jump on. He got thrown onto the wagon of being canceled to the point. So what he did, I'm sure you already know, but I tell the people. So he posted a tweet about a documentary movie, just showing that the movie existed pretty much, and it was deemed that that was anti-Semitic movie, and therefore he was classified as anti-Semitic. And when questioned about it, he said, "I just posted it because I posted it, and I'm not anti-Semitic because he did not go as far as to say that he was Jewish. He said that, but I know my bloodlines or I know my background, so that's why I can't be anti-Semitic." But we've heard that before because Kanye or Ye said that he couldn't be anti-Semitic because he was Jew. Now Kyrie Irving, he pulled back. He said he apologized and all that. But after he apologized, they made him kiss the ring. Anyway, so first they suspended him, and now he's got 6 items that he has to complete before he can return to the team. He's got to apologize and condemn the movie that he posted. Sidebar: Shaquille O'Neal's movie theater, from what I've been studying, has actually premiered the movie before. But Shaquille O'Neal says Kyrie Irving is an idiot. Anyway, that's a subject about people that have completely sold themselves out. But
Yes.
you got to do a $500,000 donation to anti-hate causes. He has to do sensitivity training. He has to do anti-Semitic training.
Mm-hmm.
So he's got to do those separate. He's got to do a meet with the ADL, which is Jewish leaders. He's got to meet with Joe Tsai to demonstrate understanding. I don't know who that is, but
somebody in the league.
No, he's got a list of things. So he got to kiss the ring and do all these things to prove his loyalty, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to get into the fact that they say that they can't be anti-Semitic because of their actual bloodline and who they are originally.
Mm-hmm.
And that's an interesting point.
Mm-hmm.
And what gets me is why not just say how it, like, pull up some receipts. Give me the receipts so people can say, okay, he's got a point.
Mm-hmm.
But now they're just like, I can't be because my bloodline says I am, which doesn't make sense unless you actually put the receipts. So I took the point because I actually read the word, and I have known it. I've read this some years ago actually, and I've just had it in my pocket. But I want to talk about it. So I want to give a little bloodline for the Hebrew / Jewish community, right? Hebrew because they speak Hebrew, Jewish because I'm gonna tell you that right now. So you look at the Jewish bloodline. Started with Abraham. Abraham, we got Isaac. Isaac, we got Jacob and Esau.
So you're going back to biblical times?
Yes, biblical times. We're going back to the actual bloodline of Jewish people.
Okay.
All right? And this is in the Old Testament. So, obviously, we know that they didn't believe Christ to be the Messiah, but eventually they recognized him as a prophet. But, so, the actual bloodline of how possibly could black people be Jewish? That's the question at hand. Can black people be Jewish? Because I just want to put up that part. If Kanye and Kyrie are using that as part of their argument, let's investigate. So, Jewish bloodline started with Abraham, and Abraham had Isaac, and then Isaac had Jacob and Esau. Jacob stole Esau's rights. Jacob was renamed as Israel after he wrestled with an angel. Israel, that's Jacob, had 12 sons, and they became the 12 tribes of Israel, right? So they went into captivity in Egypt. They came out, and then eventually, after some time, they had kings. They came out and they had a king, and their second king, David, he had a son that he named king, which was Solomon, right? But King David was from the tribe of Judah. He was from the tribe of Judah, from the 12 tribes of Israel. That's where we get Judaism. Judaism, Jewish people practice the religion of Judaism. Along that bloodline came Jesus, eventually. Alright? So, let's go back to King Solomon. King Solomon, which is David's son, was known as the wisest king. Right? He was the wisest king, and he built up Israel, but then he had a son named Rehoboam. Rehoboam. Rehoboam, who succeeded Solomon, ended up being almost a tyrant. So, the tribes of Israel split. The northern tribes stayed up north. Only thing that was left was tribes of Judah and some of the Benjamites. So, the Benjamites and tribe of Judah, and then eventually they all got sold off into slavery.
Okay.
Under the they got sold off into slavery. Not really sold off. It was more through Babylon, and then Syria, and then eventually Rome. Right.
Okay.
So that is how Judah, the 12 tribes of Israel, ended up being just Judah, which turned into Judaism, which became the Jews, and they all spoke Hebrew, and that's why they were Hebrew and Jew. Right? What I want to do is go back to what there are, because I'm a Christian, what the wisest king said in the Songs of Solomon. In the Songs of Solomon, he wrote this. It's believed that he wrote this himself. There was a little bit of contradictory thought process, but everybody mostly says he wrote. The wisest king, King Solomon, of the tribe of Judah, wrote this. He says in the first chapter, he's writing a love poem to a significant other. He writes it and he says, in her voice, I am black, but comely, O ye daughters of Jerusalem, as the tents of cedar, as the curtains of Solomon. Look not upon me, because I am black, because the sun hath looked upon me. My mother's children were angry with me. They made me the keeper of the vineyards, but mine own vineyard have I not kept. My question to America, to the Jewish community, to all of our black community is, if we believe Kanye or Ye and Kyrie Irving are making no sense by saying that they are part through their bloodline, why is it that the wisest King Solomon states in Songs of Solomon, chapter 1, verse 5, as the woman, I am black, but comely, O ye daughters of Jerusalem, as the tents of cedar, as the curtains of Solomon. Look not upon me, because I am black, because the sun hath looked upon me. So it's not I'm black because it's some kind of dark euphemism, because the sun has looked upon me. I've been kissed by the sun. I am black. Part of the Jewish have argued that this was not Solomon writing a love poem as him to a potential spouse, but that this was a song that was in relation to God and Israel. But if that's the case, I still ask, if God is the husband and Israel is the wife, why does the woman, being Israel, say, I am black? But comely, O ye daughters of Jerusalem, as the tents of cedar, as the curtains of Solomon. Look not upon me, because I am black, because the sun hath looked upon me. This portion, right after this, in Songs of Solomon, chapter 1, verse 6, it follows on by saying what I believe, what I understand, as something that was definitely prophetical in Solomon's words to where we are here in America. Mm-hmm. I am black. Obviously, we are black. We were brought over by the Atlantic slave trade. Right? Mm-hmm. But the only way we were able to come up, it wasn't because of all of America and all of our white brethren wanted us to be successful. Mm-hmm. We came up through America, and it says, my mother's children were angry with me. They made me the keeper of the vineyards. But mine own vineyard have I not kept. That is Solomon writing the prophetic word of us blacks being pulled over to tend the vines of America's whites, while our own people were being ravaged and their vineyards being unkept, mm-hmm. while the British colonized Africa. But wait, there's more. I'm gonna read it to you in the other version. That was the King James version, mm-hmm. right? I'll read it to you in the NIV version. Dark am I, yet lovely daughters of Jerusalem, dark like the tents of cedar, like the tent curtains of Solomon. Do not stare at me, because I am dark, because I am darkened by the sun. My mother's sons were angry with me and made me take care of the vineyards. My own vineyard I had to neglect. ASV version. I am black, but comely, O ye daughters of Jerusalem, as the tents of cedar, as the curtains of Solomon. Look not upon me, because I am swarthy, because the sun hath scorched me. My mother's sons were incensed against me. They made me keeper of the vineyards, but mine own vineyard have I not kept. In the British English Bible, I am dark, but fair of form, O daughters of Jerusalem, as the tents of cedar, as the curtains of Solomon. Let not your eyes be turned on me, because I am dark, because I was looked on by the sun. My mother's children were angry with me. They made me keeper of the vine gardens, but my vine garden I have not kept. And the Webster Bible translation, I am black, but comely, O ye daughters of Jerusalem, as the tents of Kedar, as the curtains of Solomon. Look not upon me, because I am black, because the sun hath looked upon me. My mother's children were angry with me. They made me the keeper of vineyards, but my own vineyard have I not kept. Again, I ask the question. If black people were not in the Jerusalem, in the Jewish community, why does Solomon, the wisest king, the son of David, the third king of Israel, write, I am black? If I'm wrong, somebody write it in the comments. Write it in the comments. Mm-hmm. Why does it say it? And this is not anything that can be debated against in that's the New Testament. No, this is the same Bible that came down through the Jewish culture, through the Hebrew, right? Why? Because people have talked about the things that they say and what the Bible says about what Jesus looked like. You know, sheep's of wool, wolf's hair,
Yeah.
His complexion, his dark feet.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because they want to play that off, right? Mm-hmm. But why in the Old Testament? Why in the Old Testament does Solomon, the third king of Israel, in the Song of Solomon, chapter 1, verse 5, say, "I am black"? Now I don't know how. I can't say for sure that Kanye, Ye, or Kyrie Irving are from that community through their bloodline, unless you want to do a 21andMe or 23andMe
ancestry.
If that's unless they want to do the test and show it, and I don't know how
far it traces
back the migration after the capture in Babylon and then by Assyria and through the Roman Empire. But I do know that my Bible, in Song of Solomon, chapter 1, verse 5, says, "I am black."
Yeah.
As written by the third king.
But you know Israel. What? There's a gap in history that we don't know. So between what we know in like the Bible and then what you can find out from an ancestry test, which isn't much because you can find out like your close relatives, your distant relatives, and you can pretty much see where the slave trade of your ancestors was. But it doesn't tell you the story of your ancestors. Right. It doesn't tell you, okay, this tribe was taken from this tribe, or this tribe was overtaken by this tribe. There's a major gap in history that is unknown. Yeah. And that's very unfortunate for Black people because there's so much that they don't know about themselves. And I think it's very important that you do the ancestry test and you're able to see like where you come from, what you're made of, what makes you you. I think it's very important for people to get a full picture of themselves. Because right now what's going on is people are living lifestyles that isn't of them. So you're perpetuating a lifestyle that you just see on TV and you're just going with it. But do you know what makes you yourself? Do you know that in your DNA history there's certain things that you have to look out for as far as health? Do you know that there's certain places that you've came from that you need to touch ground on so that you can see, okay, that's why I'm like that. Okay. It's a whole bunch of history that's missing. Yeah. It's just a mystery. So people of today, they just go off of where Black people when we come from Africa. That's not necessarily true.
I don't think we ever know.
Yeah.
Especially us.
We definitely won't ever know.
Because I think it would be great
because we were traded so much.
I would love to see the ancestry of British or English, a Black English person, to see where they came from.
It's just gonna trace back to.
But they might trace back to Africa, but what portion? Because most of us are going to trace back to West Africa.
Well, I have family that's traced back to like Black English.
East Africa.
Black English people. They are in my ancestry tree. They're Black English, and it still says Africa. So it says Africa. It says Africa. It says Europe, and
it doesn't say what part of Africa.
Different. Yeah, it says which part.
Like what part?
It tells you like
West Africa.
Most is West Africa, and what's that other part called? I even have like Norway and Scotland.
Yeah.
In my DNA,
Yeah.
but it just still traces back to Africa.
Yeah.
The motherland.
But I would love to see if like anybody that's black, our complexion, that might end up being somewhere in that Egypt, Middle East.
There are
bloodline.
Wait, I'll show you my my ancestry so
Yeah.
you can see what makes me me.
Yeah.
But
because we don't know the migration, that we don't like, it was so much that was lost because of everybody.
But that's the thing. That's what
country conquering another country.
That's what I'm saying. You have to get definitely an ancestry is on sale right now. Definitely get an ancestry test so that you can see you in my DNA history. I'm mostly African, but there's other like things that are like mixed in, and you can basically see where they went from here to here. So I'm gonna do some research. I'm gonna trace back and see where my ancestors and my grandparents and things of that nature is from. But definitely look into your history and find out what makes you you, and find out your family history. Start tracing back stuff. You never know, you might find out that you're a queen.
Mm-hmm. So the other part of the whole everything with Ye and Kyrie Irving is this, so the idea that you can't be anti-Semitic because you're Jew. That part. Well, for one, that's crap. That's the same thing as saying I can't be anti-black because I'm black. No, there's plenty of people that say I love black people, but I hate ninjas. Because you can be anti. I mean, a lot of people say Kanye that Ye was anti-black because he had the White Lives Matter shirt. So, but I really think that was for a completely different reason. But it's just you can definitely be racist against your own race.
You can.
That that guy
from Uncle Ruckus.
Yeah, Uncle Ruckus.
Off of Boondocks.
Off of Boondocks. He was completely anti-black.
Remember he said, "You put your banana peel."
or like that new movie.
Django.
No.
But that's
that Django. But was he that? I don't think he was anti-black.
He wasn't, but he had to perpetuate that that idea. Yeah, because remember when he was riding on the horse and he told him not. He told the other black male not to look at him. Yeah.
Wait, Django said it?
Yeah, he said Django said it. He's riding on the horse.
He did that on purpose to try to make it seem like he was.
But still, making it seem like you're like that. It's still Jackson. It's just as bad.
Samuel L. Jackson.
He was bad too.
No, he was bad. Now I'm gonna label him. Now, I'm gonna find his name and I'm gonna start labeling everybody that's like that. That dude's name.
He's the overseer. What is that?
Yeah. He was bad. But it's a lot of us. It's a lot of us black people that are just like that dude from Samuel L. Jackson. I'm gonna find his name. I'm that's what I'm gonna start labeling everybody at. Because it's a lot of us that's like, okay, I am living the best life right now as a slave, and if anything that you as another slave are gonna do that's gonna mess up my good life, I'm gonna make sure you fit. There's a lot of us like that. But anyway, I do want to finish up this whole thing about this whole. Why would Ye feel like he needed to attack that community? And I want to argue the point that it's not about the Jewish community.
Mm-hmm.
It's not and I believe it would have been a whole lot better if Ye would have been able to articulate it better. Mm-hmm. But it's not about the Jewish community. There were some that benefited, mm-hmm. but it's not about the Jewish community. It's about America. It's about the history of America. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to run down that history just a little bit. Okay. But first I want to talk about the fact that Tyler Perry's new movie that came out a couple weeks ago, we watched it. I think it came out a couple months ago now. The Jazzman's Blues.
That's pretty good.
It was good. I liked it. I thought it was really good. He said that was 27 years in the making. Oh, wow. He had written that screenplay 27 years ago, and finally he was able to produce it. But did you notice that the manager of those two black brothers, he was Jewish?
Yeah.
And he came over from Germany in the late 30s, early 40s. Mm-hmm. Obviously, he was coming from that environment where Jewish went through horrible things. But part of the reason that they have so much ability for when people say something anti-Semitic, they are automatically canceled is because the things that went on in Germany were so atrocious. But I would argue that they were more so atrocious because it was done to people of pale skin. Because when we talk about it, the same things that Hitler ended up using what happened in American slavery in order to set up the template for concentration camps. He got that information from how slavery was working in America, or how it had worked in America. But because they were of pale skin, it was an atrocity that the Jewish community needs to be held in high revere and not spoken against at all. But there's no cancelability when you say things like Mr. Kennedy or Senator Kennedy just said, where if you have an emergency, call a crackhead. When he obviously, if you say anything that might be anti-Semitic, you're canceled. But a senator can say call a crackhead and not.
But what's a crackhead? Crackhead don't have a code.
Come on now. Kyrie Irving posted. See, when you play that part, that's what everybody would say. What's a crackhead? Except Kyrie Irving, all he did was post the same movie that Shaq and Amazon Shaq played and Amazon created. So
but that would really be my question. Like, what is a crackhead?
That's what they would say.
Crackhead,
but the same argument would be, what is anti-Semitic? What can you say that's anti-Semitic? And what can't you say?
Any form of hatred.
So any form of when you say what's a crackhead, or when you say call a crackhead, and we know that.
But that's calling a thing a thing. If you smoking crack, and we're out being like a basin.
All right.
Is it a basin they say? But if you're out being a basin,
I don't know. I think you're playing too far against the.
You gotta call a thing a thing.
I think you're playing too far to disagree on this one.
You gotta call a thing a thing. If you out there.
So this white man who's been privileged his whole life can say call a crackhead if you have an emergency, and that doesn't automatically let you see that he's saying call a black person as a crackhead.
I don't see him saying call a black person. I don't see no color on a crackhead, because they can come from anywhere.
Why?
But if he was to say call Tyrone. If he would say call Tyrone,
okay,
that would have been.
I need to understand if you're really trying to like just play devil's advocate, or if you really believe that.
You have to understand
I don't want
that.
to. I just want to know if you're playing devil's advocate.
We're not going to agree on everything. So if you're saying he should call a crackhead, I'm telling you, I don't see it as he's saying call a black person. Okay. What makes you think that crackheads are black?
The fact that crack was sold in the black community and cocaine was sold in the white community.
That was back then.
Right, and that's where we get the term. That's where we got the term crackhead from.
And that can apply to anybody.
Okay.
Can crackhead not apply to anyone? If I see somebody of any color strung out,
if somebody say crackhead, I'm thinking automatically black person. Somebody said meth head.
That's your perception.
If somebody said meth head, I'm thinking automatically a white person.
I'm thinking that's your perception, though. Okay. That's your perception.
And I believe his perception was when he said call a crackhead, he was saying call a black crackhead.
It all depends on the conversation when it was around.
And that still proves my point. That still proves my point. Because
what
I'm still saying is what somebody says, mm-hmm. if it's automatically viewed, if it's at any point viewed anti-Semitic, they're mm-hmm. automatically canceled.
He should be canceled, of course.
But he's not canceled. Because you know why? Because he's a pale skin.
People need to make an uproar of it.
But they won't, because the people that vote for him are of pale skin.
Bring attention to it. That's all you can do is bring attention to it.
But people know. Everybody knows.
I never heard of it. I don't even know who he is.
You know who Ted Kennedy is? Who? I think it's Ted Kennedy. Oh. I think he's Alabama or Mississippi senator.
Okay.
He's somewhere up there on the hill.
Call attention to it and have him removed.
It's not happening.
You know what? You know what you have to do. You have to make it stink. You have to make it. You have to make it so bad that everybody. Oh, what's going on? What did he say? Oh no, that's unacceptable. Just like that.
Yeah, but guess what? That's my point. If it's said against black people, nobody's saying how unacceptable it is. And guess what? Enough black people ain't voting. You know why? Because people in our feed that respond to our videos are saying, "Oh, well, this is why black people aren't voting. This is why black people aren't voting." We're making excuses for why we don't vote instead of actually making reasons why we should do everything possible to vote. And we make excuses for ourselves. We make excuses for each other. That's the problem. We make excuses for ourselves, but those that are doing this canceling, they are not making excuses. They're saying this is going to happen, and if not, we're going to take it to the polls. That's why they win. That's why we lose. We don't stand in solidarity.
That I think I can. Black people do not stand for.
We don't stand in solidarity. Because guess what? He said that, and he's still gonna get voted for.
It has to be something they are supportive of. Because if it's something they support,
no, that's why. Because we're saying the only thing we say it has to be something that they're supportive of if they're black. Mm-hmm. If they're black, it's got to be something we're in support of. If they're white, we'll pick and choose. Okay, well he gives this, and that's the right thing to do. The right thing to say, okay, he has more things, or he's for more things than he's for more things than he's against that I like. He's for more things that I like than he is that he's against that I don't like. So that's the person I'm choosing. But that doesn't matter because Ye is not running for office. He's just being canceled. The people that are not at the top of the country are held to less standards than the people that are.
He just got to make it make sense.
Are held to more standards than the people that are at the top of the country.
You can't just go out there and act like you're what's the word? You can't go out there like you're a philosopher and be like, "Oh, I have this big idea and make it make sense."
But it's funny. I wish he would have made it make sense.
Yeah.
But it ain't. What Ye has been saying has been what he's been thinking. I think forever.
Mhm.
And he told us he was gonna say it.
Yeah.
That college dropout was the bomb.
Yeah.
Oh. Mm-hmm. Wait till I get my money right. Mm-hmm. Oh. Then you can't tell me nothing, right? Mm-hmm. He do it. He told us what he was gonna do.
Yeah.
He told us. But here's what gets me though. What I keep saying it. I'm gonna have to find another thing to say. Anyway. Okay, I'm gonna say one more thing about Ye, and then I'm gonna actually go into the whole why he would believe, or why we might have an issue with those Hebrews. Anyway, what gets me, what I don't like, I'm gonna start saying it. Mm-hmm. What I don't like about our community is we will deify those that have said so many horrible things, and we will cancel those that say the things that we don't like. And we even did both sides to Ye. When he was rapping about everything else, he was great, right? Even when he made that, when he made that trash song, I'ma sit, I like my son. That song, oh my goodness. I was like, that made me be like, really? This is what the community is listening to. I'ma sit, I like my son. Oh my goodness. That song, I gotta play that for y'all. Matter of fact, no, I can't play that. That's copyright.
Yeah.
When he made that, I was like, this is ridiculous. And he made it like a year before he came out with his Jesus album. And I was like, there ain't no way. I'm thinking, Paul didn't even convert that fast. But he was gold. Only thing was he's weird, he spazzed out on Taylor Swift. Oh, you can't say spazzed out. He went crazy on. No, Beyonce and Lizzo had to drop that word off their albums, on both their albums.
Oh yeah, okay.
Can't say that word.
Yeah.
But anyway, so he was still deified. He was great, making money, selling Yeezys, all of this, right? But as soon as once obviously we thought he was crazy when he started putting on the red hat, the MAGA hat. But when he put on that T-shirt that said all lives matter, or white lives matter, that's when we canceled him, right? On the black side, you say you can't do that, right? But he can say all this other negative stuff, right? When here's why I say, as long as you're spitting negative stuff to feed the community, you're going to be deified or successful. And then looked at like an angel. I don't care how many songs DMX ever put out.
Where you going with this? Because
gonna give it to you. Yeah. Gonna give it to you. I don't care how many songs DMX put out. I don't care. It doesn't matter how great you think he is. But when he said, "What you want from the Ayo, dog, I meet the street women, flash, Cocoa Puff, sweet women, make you want women, but not me. Y'all can't see off the plate all you want, but not these. I get at these women from a distance. The instant they start to catch feelings, start to steal it, they quick, then I'm out. It's like a thief in the night. I see my teeth in the bite. You think I'm life? I'm thinking more life. What's up tonight? Come on, mom. You know I got a wife. You know that? I'm not gonna jeopardize my life. Well, what you want from me? I gave you, you gave me. I blaze you, you blaze me. That's the more, that's the less. But you at my door, willing to confess that it's the best you ever tested. Better than all the rest. I'm like, all right, girlfriend, hold up. I gave you what you gave me, boo. Enough.
And what is your points with that?
Is that not completely trashing black women?
If you gonna put yourself in a certain box, that's your fault that you catching that label. You lining up, you literally lining yourself up to get that label.
But don't nobody, you can't say that to a black woman out in the open. So why can you say it in a song?
People love it.
That's my point. They love it. If you say it in a song, you're deified.
But you're not. But that's not identifying everybody. You're identifying.
He was
telling. That's not the whole black community. He was telling. Really? And it's an art. So it is an art. He was telling a story. He was telling a story of his experiences. So he's explaining his experiences.
Okay. Let's talk about art. You want to talk about art?
Go ahead.
If I show you the smoke mushroom of the Hiroshima bomb, and it was taken with a camera, is that art, or is that a picture of death?
Why did you say that?
It could, if it was taken with a camera, right? That should be a form of art, right?
It of course it's a form of art.
But what is it a picture of?
But it's people dying, of course. It's detrimental. But is it not?
Is it art?
Is that does that take away from it being art?
That's my question.
It is. It's a piece of art. It's not nothing to glorify or say, "Wow, this is a beautiful picture." No, it's showing like what happened moments before people lost their lives.
I just thought about that analogy right before I said it. But it's what we do.
Mm-hmm.
It's what we do.
You can be your own self-detriment.
Our entire community is dying. And we have artists taking pictures of it. And putting it in a song. Millions of people.
It's very sad.
Well, let's take it a little bit lighter. I'm gonna argue it again one more time. And I think we talked about this on a personal level.
Mm-hmm.
If I take one of Da Vinci's statue of a man with all his things hanging, and I put it in the elementary school, is it art?
Why would you say that? It's still art. Doesn't take away this art. It's art for different age groups. So of course you wouldn't take such a statue and put it in front of children for them to see.
Why not?
It's more so about filtering.
Art. It's an artistic expression of the human anatomy.
You can say porn is art. Would you expose that to your child?
No, I'm arguing it.
You don't expose you don't expose certain stuff to your children because and then at the same sense if it is in an elementary school, then you have to explain to them, okay, what is that? Oh, that part looks like mine. Why doesn't he have any clothes on? You have to explain that stuff.
But other than that, you would in the same way that Cardi B won't let her daughter listen to her music, you wouldn't want your child to see that art.
Why would you want to?
Or listen to that type of music.
Why would you want to?
Why would they want to? Why would we want to? Why would we
Good
play
parents
that?
don't do that. They don't show their kids that stuff.
But how many of
Or
our parents, how many black parents in our communities are listening to that music with their children in the car?
it's a lot, of course. They're not gonna put on. The best thing you can do
Kids
is put
Bop
on like
is a
Kids Bop,
jam,
or
man.
and even Kids Bop is bad because
Yeah, some of
they're
it.
singing the same songs. They just changing the words.
Mm-hmm.
So when they hear the actual song, they catch on to it faster. That's all that is. So they shouldn't even be listening to Kids Bop. So it's just what you show and expose to your children.
Mm-hmm.
Is it to
Yeah, but we at what age is the children? How is a children? It can be a children, but I'll give you the answer. Biologically, we're not. Our mind hasn't fully developed until what age?
at no age?
What
In
age?
your 20s.
25.
Yes.
At 25. So if we expose children from elementary through middle school,
Mm-hmm.
through high school, through all the way up through college,
Mm-hmm.
with this artistic expression
Mm-hmm.
of sexuality and violence,
Mm-hmm.
what can we expect from the product of undeveloped minds receiving that more than they receive anything else?
Mm-hmm.
And then we say, but the issue is we say that schools aren't teaching our
It
kids
wasn't,
enough.
but you talking like DMX. That wasn't for a child to listen to
I
sit
mean, you can go from
and take
DMX
in.
to WAP or
That's not for them to
all right,
listen to.
Savage.
It's not for them to listen to.
Girls girls was all over TikTok and Instagram doing the Savage dance.
They didn't have the whole thing in it though.
12-year-old girls. But you're in placing that mentality. Nasty, bougie, savage.
It's classy, bougie, ratchet.
Classy, bougie, ratchet. Classy, bougie, ratchet.
Mm-hmm.
That's what a 12-year-old girl should be singing.
They shouldn't. It all depends on what you expose to them. So if you expose certain things to them, don't question like why they're
But
in the mirror booty popping.
We are questioning. We're questioning why our schools aren't teaching them enough in 8 hours versus what we're teaching them or what we're exposing to them. And the other,
are schools teaching enough? They teach basic arithmetic. They teach. They're not teaching life skills. You're not learning about credit. You're not learning about buying your first home. You're not learning about things that you need in life. So when you get, but it should be a program, or it should be something implemented in there. Yes, it should. So where do you get them skills from? At home?
It's supposed to be at home. Yes, it's supposed to be at home.
It's not. Everybody doesn't get that.
That's the problem. The problem is people that reach the age of being sexually active are having children before they've learned anything that they need to create a proper environment for them children, because they're receiving 8 hours of work, of whatever at home, and WAP and Savage for the other 16 hours.
You can watch WAP and Savage for 18. I get what you're saying, but
why can't you?
You can't.
What else are they listening to on YouTube? What are they doing on YouTube? Not our kids.
Of course.
But what are so many kids doing on YouTube? They're listening to every other gangster, every rapper, every song. They're doing all of that, and they know all the dances to everything, and they are not doing anything to actually progress their what did you say? Life skills.
Mm-hmm. You can't learn all your life skills at home.
You don't have to learn everything at home, but you can be exposed to more. If a child sees more on YouTube about Savage than they do about life skills, it's still the wrong answer.
And I don't disagree with you on that. However,
I'm saying I'm having this conversation with you, but that's the issue. That's the issue. We're saying that schools are supposed to teach our child all of this. You're supposed to teach them how to read, how to write, how to do arithmetic, how to do some
they're
science.
They're supposed to learn that on both sides.
No, but they're not learning it on not your side, but they're not learning it on the parent side. So don't expect the school to teach your child anything that you're not already trying to teach them.
Some people are real dense, and they
don't blame.
Have,
I know,
they
but
don't have
those people that are dense are not. They're dense, and they don't have the education because they're not doing anything but listening to Savage too. They listen to Bad and Bougie.
No, too soon.
That's the only song I remember because it was fresh in our head.
Too soon.
Anyway, I was going to talk about some more stuff, but we'll talk about that at a different time. Unless you want to talk about it right now. You want to talk about it right now?
We can. We already had.
All right. What's going on, everybody? I'm your boy, Mr. Define.
And I'm your girl, Trish.
And we are
Black Press.
So, we are going to finish up what we were talking about when it came to Ye and the whole idea of why Ye might have been spewing this information without all the full context, but
so why he might to make it make sense.
Yes, try to make it make sense. Yes, let's try to make it make sense. So I don't believe Ye fully explained anything, which is a big part of his problem, because he says sound bites and then moves on to another topic or another thing he wants to say, but doesn't finish it. Like I said earlier, Tyler Perry's new Netflix movie was great, but I think we need to ask the question as to why did he choose to have the manager of the young men that were black be their manager and be Jewish. Did he add that for context or to make it more spicy? Or did he add that as part of the understanding that those were the national background? They were the nationality background that had understood what the black community and black music was able to offer and capitalized on it. I think a big reason that they were able to capitalize on it is because of the inability for black people to capitalize on it without their help. Because guess what? In those times where this movie came out, the Jewish manager walked into a whites only club, and he went to the white owner to say, "You should listen to these guys; they're great." It doesn't get past me that the 2008 movie, which was a great movie, Beyonce was in it. And who else was in it? I think Cedric the Entertainer played a part in it. Yeah, he did. Cadillac Records.
Okay.
2008. Right? Cadillac Records was actually Chess Records. Mm-hmm. And it was based off a true story. The owner was named Leonard Chess. Mm-hmm. Leonard was Polish, Jewish. Mm-hmm. His parents came over. He was born in 1917. Mm-hmm. And he was born in Belarus. He came over with his mom in 1928, which was right between the World War I and World War II. So that was the point where Hitler was bringing himself in Germany into establishment. Mm-hmm. And they immediately went to their father that lived in Chicago. And eventually he became the co-founder of the record company that we saw in the movie. Mm-hmm. It was not missed by me, and this is the thing that you got to, when you recognize that what some people are saying is what we're seeing and not realizing, mm-hmm. That guy wasn't just white, he was Polish Jewish. Mm-hmm. And he was able to see, just like others were able to see. I'm not saying that they were the only ones, but they saw it and were able to capitalize after being immigrants. So they had to have some way to flourish because they hadn't spent their whole life in America building up off of slavery. Mm-hmm. So they were able to do things because you see a point in that movie where he's paying the local DJ to play the records, mm-hmm. of a black artist. Because guess what? The black artist couldn't get in there to pay the DJ to play the record. Yeah. That's not lost on me. Mm-hmm. And then we speeded up time a little bit. Jerry Hadler, who was the manager of Ruthless Records with Eazy-E for NWA, Ice Cube, he was manager for Marvin Gaye, Ike and Tina Turner, Otis Redding, Bone Thugs and Harmony, and many others. Sad to say that Harvey Weinstein was a child of Jewish grandparents. They were from Poland. Steven Spielberg was Jewish. And I'm not saying that Jews are just monopolizing everything, but I'm saying that there could have been things that Kanye saw, or that Ye saw, that he wasn't able to really vocalize, and Jewish aren't these monopolizing people that are just out to oppress us. But they had, what the real problem is they had an opportunity that we did not have. And it had nothing to do with what they're capable of, and it had only to do with that they were pale-skinned and we were black. Mm-hmm. And they were able to use that and see our potential and operate that to their advantage, while we couldn't operate it to our own advantage, and therefore we're stuck being subservient to their will because America sees us as less than. They were able to migrate over here and be seen as equal, while we were still seen as less than. We were seen as less than so much to the point that when we came over, we came over in the Atlantic slave trade in 1619. A little bit of history lesson. Don't go too far, because I'm telling you, it makes sense. 1619, for 245 years, we were slaves. Mm-hmm. And we were free. Once we were free, we had one senator that served for 1 year. And then after he wasn't there, we had one senator after that. And a total of 6 years. And then Jim Crow stepped in. Mm-hmm. And we weren't able to vote for another 90 years. Mm-hmm. So we couldn't put anybody in office. Mm-hmm. But their first senator was Senator David Levy. Mm-hmm. And that was in 1845. So they showed up and had more rights than we could even dream of at the time. The problem is not with Jewish people. The problem is with American history and America's current leadership that are refusing to acknowledge that we, as black people, have not received everything that is supposed to be given to us for the 400 years that we were in slavery. Yes, 245 years. Then another 90 years where we couldn't vote. So that was still slavery. Mm-hmm. And then the rest of the time, we were in slavery to drafts, the drugs that were pushed into our communities. Mm-hmm. And I was thinking like, oh, well, it's only 245 years. It's not 400 years. But when you add all those years up to now, it's been 400 years.
Yeah. So if you say it that way, can you really blame black people for how the decisions they make and what they do in life?
Yes.
How? If you say that, how can you say that in the same?
I can say that because, like I said in the last time.
Because if your mind is still enslaved, you're gonna act as a slave. You're not gonna be. You're not gonna be rebellious.
We put ourselves back in slavery. Because if you knew better, you do better.
But if they own everything, how can you be in a space to own anything? So you're basically working for the rest of your life under them. If you're not, if you're not able to branch out and form your own company, grow your own crops, do your own stuff. Not everybody.
Yes, you are.
Not everybody.
You're able to get a little bit further in your generation.
Can you grow a garden in the concrete jungle?
No, what I'm saying is, you're able to do more you're able to do more to progress your generations after you.
Under who?
What do you mean under who?
You said it's under like Jewish people or people of fair skin.
That was then. We're not right now under the same restrictions as we were then.
Kanye says different.
No, he don't.
He does.
What he said? Kanye said, and this is it's Kanye. Before he became Ye, he said black people voluntarily put themselves in a state of slavery.
How can you get out of slavery if you're not able to have resources and
the understanding that knowledge is power?
Knowledge is power. But if you don't have that access to the knowledge, Frederick, how can you get out? How can you get out of being enslaved and being a slave for all of your life? How can you just wake up and one day, there's different things I can do. I'm not a slave anymore. It doesn't work like that.
Frederick Douglass said the moment that he heard his master say, "If you teach them to read, they'll overthrow us." I don't think he said overthrow us, but he said if you teach them to read, they will they will bring themselves out. So
if you teach them, someone has to teach them.
No. But let me finish what I said.
Okay, go ahead.
Let me finish what he said. Mm-hmm. He said from the moment he knew, from the moment he heard that, he understood that him receiving an education was his way out. And we know that from the time we step our first day into kindergarten.
Mm-hmm. But you have to receive it.
No,
it's not.
Who did he receive it? He didn't receive it. He started out.
Okay, so he stole it.
No, it belonged to him. Knowledge belongs to everyone that seeks it.
But you have to be in a space to be able to seek it.
No, you have to put yourself in a space to be able to seek it.
It just doesn't come to you like that.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't come to anybody.
Of course
you
not.
Seek it. Knowledge is received by those that seek knowledge. Once you understand that knowledge is your power, it's your responsibility to seek it. Nobody's going to give it to you.
Of course not.
Nobody's gonna. Frederick Douglass, from the moment he knew that knowledge was power, knowledge was his way out.
Everybody knows knowledge is power. But I am saying, how do you think people can get the knowledge if they're being restricted?
We're not being restricted anymore.
Okay.
We have access to knowledge. We have access to internet. Mm-hmm. We have access, and we have choices that we make that go against the knowledge and towards something that's going to mentally and visually stimulate us instead of the knowledge. It's boring. Reading is boring sometimes. Unless you're reading a good book. No, I'm talking about reading for knowledge, not reading for
you have to
fun.
It's something you have to crave.
That makes sense until you say let's read it. When you talk about reading a biology book, reading a chemistry book, reading.
Yeah, I want to know how molecules are built. It's craving it.
I'm not gonna tell the people a lot. That stuff get boring sometimes.
Sometimes it's
hard to read. You want to fall asleep.
Yeah,
but you have to have a drive that's stronger than you wanting to be. You want to physically satisfy your sleepiness, or you
have to be motivated.
Yes, that's the answer right there. The same question you just asked me, you give that answer yourself. How do?
But I was trying to get you to derive to that answer.
I'm giving them that answer.
I know, but I was trying to get you to derive to that answer.
You have to know it in yourself.
Okay. You have to be motivated, people. Be encouraged and motivated.
I know I can't sing this. Okay. My praise is a heavenly sound.
On the inside.
They said, Mr. Define, can you sing solo for us? I said, solo, you can't hear me. Yeah, that's my dad joke for the day. Yes, but yeah, I'm off my soapbox now. I get back on my soapbox tomorrow for the next episode.
Ooh, I just want to say thank you for watching. It was a pleasure getting inside your brains. So I want y'all to comment. Let us know your thoughts, your opinions, what you think, especially if it's something that you feel strong about. Don't be silent, because silence gets you nowhere. We have to start opening up these conversations so that it's had and it's out there, so that people know that and people are aware.
And share.
Yes.
Share it with somebody. Have the conversation. Go to this video over here. Mm-hmm. It's gonna be there. I promise. I'm gonna put it there. And click on these other videos, these other segments, so that you can have some information. Just absorb more of the thought process.
Mm-hmm. And another thing,
why things happen.
Yeah.
And how we can do more.
Yep. Take a trip to the library and start researching and get your hands on a book. Don't scroll on the internet. Just put some footsteps in, go to the library, and get some knowledge.
Don't be sleeping on them apps, though. There's some book apps.
Then you can argue your point with us.
Yeah.
And Mr. Define, because
there's some book apps. Look, if you ain't got no book app, if there is no book app that is free, I know one book app that's always free.
What's that?
The Holy Bible. I'm telling you, you can always find a book app. Hey, they don't get that one away for free.
Mm.
Look. Anyway, I appreciate you for watching. As always, I'm your boy, Mr. Define.
And I'm your girl, Trish. And
we are Black Press.
And we're out. I'm so tired.